region. And that's technology. We're not going for that anymore. We, as human beings, are going to do all that we can. Instead of teaching war, we're going to teach peace. That's right, we're going to teach peace, harmony, and high expectations for society. That's what we're into now. When we say we're going to do it, that means we're already evolving into it right now. Because imagine all the problems that exist in the world are created by the human being. The animals haven't did nothing. They don't mess up nothing. The beavers can build a dam, but all it can do is build it so high and it'll hold so much water. And the only thing the human being will come by, since that dam the beaver built covers a little stretch of the highway that goes to his house, he'll go tear down the beaver's dam. But the beaver can't build no hydroelectric dam or nothing like that. So the animals follow their prescription. Allah created them and they do what they was created to do. They don't do nothing else. Let's say they don't evolve in technology or in, the monkeys are said to be 98% humanoid. That's what they say, because you can take a heart out of a monkey, but that's what they say, I don't know. But the monkeys, the apes, and the gorillas haven't evolved. They say that they can use one little straw-like to suck up termites and stuff, but they don't, that's it. They can't go any further because it's not that they're not allowed to, they haven't been given that gift or that curse. Now remember, what we're dealing is with the Quranic reality. The angels say, oh, you're going to create somebody that can create mischief and spread blood. Shed blood. Allah says, yeah. But Allah says, I know what you know, but I know what you know not. So he turned to Adam and he said, tell me the names of all those things. That is the nature of everything. So Adam, being you, could name everything and how it behaves. The other animals, they know. Okay, so the birds know about scratching for worms, and they know that other animals can't fly. So they know about how close to let an animal get to them. And when you drive and you see the birds eating something in the street, they already can figure out, very few of them get hit by cars because they fly up because that car's about 10 feet away, time to go, right? So they can understand those things, but they can't evolve any higher. And they have a different nature. I was telling the brothers, I said that in our backyard we have an old plum tree. My father must have planted that boy way 50, 60 years ago. It's getting old now and patchy and it's, I think I'll prune it when I get back and, help it a little bit. But it's about ready to go. But I watch, those big beautiful plums they have in the store? It has those kind of plums. So, when those plums start ripening, especially at the top where the sun hit it, when one of the birds get there and he call all other birds, man, these things is getting ripe, it's happy days is here again, and that's the way they are. Human beings don't do that. If the human being find a patch of little gold or something, oh, good God. He covers it back up, he hides it, sneaks off with it, and sneaks back and try to get the rest. But he don't call everybody, man, there's gold over here. He don't do that. That's their human nature. Some human beings you can deal with scarcity or abundance. Those people that are really successful deal with the abundance theory, that it's enough to go around. That's why when we got rich in Oakland, we wanted everybody to be rich. My friends be walking down the street, their mouth stuck out. I used to pull over and say, man, look here. Boy, you looking terrible. You need you a new Cadillac. I would take them, you ask people to know, I would take them right down. This wasn't one person, this was many people. I'd take them down to the Cadillac dealer. In those days, Cadillacs was Negro heaven. They're not like what they are now. Everybody got one. You could work on a job and get one. You couldn't buy no Cadillac then working on a job. If you did, they had a saying, you'd be sleeping in it. You know, if you had a new Cadillac and you had a job, you would be sleeping in it because you couldn't afford nothing else. So that's because I thought about abundance. Man, it's enough. When I was managing different affairs, I never thought that, hey, man, I gotta stop them niggas over there. They getting money. And if they keep on getting money, they gonna get more than us. Never, never, never. You know what I thought? The more money they get, I said, first of all, there's more money out here than any of us can get. So, if they try to snatch their pot of gold or two pots of gold, and I run over and start knocking their gold out of their hands, I'm going to drop all of mine to go knock theirs out. But if I do it correctly, I may get even 3 pots. I get one pot here, one pot in the center, one pot, because that's abundance idea. Scarcity, people that are stingy, it ain't enough. That's the way rich people are. There's only enough for us. Well, technically, me. You know, they say us as a class, but when it boils down to it, it's all about me. Now, suppose we teach a different theory, a different reality. We teach people to respect the earth. Now, they rape the earth, right? They technically rape. They have big giant machines go in and dig everything out. They don't have no, if they have to use mercury to get the gold out, they don't care what it. The mercury goes into the stream, goes into the ocean. On the way, the fish gobble up some of the mercury, and if you catch, they may be beautiful looking trout. But if you eat one of them, away you go. Can you imagine? Maybe it's cleaner now. They said 65% of the fish in Anacostia got cancer thing on them. Yeah, the fish are sick. They are sick. They got the growths on them, either internally or externally. They didn't have them 100, 200 years ago. You know why? All original people, just like we say, Bismillah, in the name of Allah, Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, when we slaughter, we're thanking Allah for allowing us to be in charge of that animal's life. We're taking that animal's life, but we're thanking Allah for the meat, for the hide, and for everything that comes from that animal. And we're not going to misuse nor abuse all original people. Africans especially, they had some rituals like that. The Indians here in America, When they planted a corn seed, guess what they would put in the hole with the corn seed? They would put a fish in there to thank the earth. They was doing it as a ritual, just to thanking the earth. But somebody told them, hey man, every time you put a fish in there, you have a big giant thing of Indian corn, you know, that spotted corn. What is that fish? Fertilizer, the best fertilizer you could put in the hole. It decomposes, right? And that plant sucks up all of that right on the spot. They might have been doing it as a ritual to thank the earth, to thank Mother Nature, or Wonka Tonka, or whatever. That's what they was doing. But they was actually thanking the earth, replenishing the earth. They knew that if you take something out, you got to put something back. White folks and others are not like that. You think they're cruel to niggas? Look how cruel they are to the earth. They are cruel. They're barbaric. I mean, they pump raw waste into the ocean. The ocean was there to purify everything. The ocean was there. Just imagine, a few years ago, ocean suck up all that water, turn it into a mist and what have you, and suck it up, and the wind blow it all over the land. And it just has all kind of fresh water. And that water would go down. And if that water run in a stream, every quarter mile, that stream purified the water, no matter what it was. When I was a kid, up in the hills, they sent us this little kiddie jail. All those streams, when we went to Beaver Swings and all that, you could see 50 or 100 miles, or maybe 80 miles away. You could see the Sierras, the mountains, with snow on top. The snow melted, right? And it brought that water down to us. It was still cold when it got to us. Had nice trout fishing. We drank the water. There's no warning sign, don't drink the water. Maybe, it must have been 60 years ago, something like 60 years ago. Because there was nothing in between that polluted that water. We drank the water. We swim in it, and we take a drink. Yeah. The fish was there. We built a little dam so we get a little pool, you know, all that kind of stuff that don't exist anymore. But look at the wonderful creation. Some places on the earth, if the earth is 75 or 78% water, right? Everything flows into the ocean. The ocean is salty, it purifies everything. And then all the land that needs water, all that earth covered with oceans, it goes up in clouds and the wind blows it all over the land, right? And at certain times, when all of it get together, it rains. Can you imagine? Do you think that's accident, or someone or some being created that? It had to be created because it works perfectly. It's a live system. The earth is alive. It's a living organism, right? It's a living organism. The greedy murderers don't see the earth like that. Therefore, we have to teach peace, harmony, high expectations, but we also have to teach respect and reverence for the earth, even love for Mother Earth. Can you imagine a guy so dumb that everything, all science, everything says, if you keep polluting the ocean, you won't last but a couple more years. So whatever it is, it ain't long. And it has no effect on it. What? You fishing up all the fish in the ocean? Well, there's one more out there. One more tuna. One more something of it. He gonna fish till he get that last one. He's not gonna say, well, we're killing all the dolphins and we better, hey, let's have a 10-year or 5-year moratorium on fishing. Well, we can't do that. We got people that work in the fishing industry and we get their money. Yeah, we get their money. All of it. They get a place to stay. But most of their money is going to us. So we can't have a moratorium on fishing. Why? Well, human being is not needed much anymore. And we're building machines to make cars and everything else. Have you ever imagined somebody that insane? In 5 years, can that machine that's building those cars buy one? What is he putting out? He's getting rid of the human being that's productive. He could moderate himself, right? Let the human being work, and the human being feels better about themselves when they have real, live work, you know what I mean? Self-esteem. They say most people is lazy. Most people are not lazy. You find the people, when they retire, they start dying, right? Because the human being likes work. You know, I don't have nothing to do. So they get a few of the old guys, they meet. You used to see them, they see them in parking lots, parking all together with their trucks or their cars, or even motorbike, whatever they did, you can see them. They got them all over the city. They don't have nothing else to do. If you see the so-called wino types, they'll collect themselves somewhere, and there's a place in Oakland right there on East 4th, they hang out there all day. And their thing is to get up in the morning and go hang out. That's what they do. They don't have any work. They're non-productive. Even in nature, you see that everything works, right? The foxes work, they hunt, everything works. You know, before they can eat, before the bird can eat a worm, you gotta scratch the worm. It's not laying there saying, hey, come and eat me. Well, sometimes when it rains, they come up to the top. But they know they coming up, they waiting on the rain. A turkey, or a bird that's raised in the zoo, is he as smart as the one that live out in the woods? Heck no. Because that bird in the zoo looks like a regular hawk or eagle. Hey. But the one living out in the woods, when you see them clouds coming together, so, well, happy days is here again. They're going to be out, you know what I mean? Hey, man, we going to be rolling. As soon as it rains, they're going to come up to the top. You know, right there in the woods, when you go in the woods, if you see a lot of area that's scratched, where they're scratching off, those turkeys scratch under those leaves because it's moist under there, and they know it's food under there. They got sense. Old dummy in the zoo, like people are, they lose their intellect. You know what I mean? Here's what I'm saying. If we can teach war, we can teach peace. If we can teach people how to destabilize the world, we can teach them how to harmonize the world. Right? That's where we're coming from. Okay? That's where we're coming from. I'll explain how in a minute. So we have to go through a period, let's call it semi-regulation, that we are now in a state where we don't want to call it over-regulation, but semi-regulate our evolution. We just said, if robots are going to put the human beings out of work, right? We said, well, we won't build any robots except for ocean exploration and outer space. Because a lot of places you're going to go, you won't get there till, in fact, anywhere you go, besides the sun or anything, if you go to the nearest star, Proxima Centauri, that's 4 light years away. 4 light years. That's how, like 186,000 miles per second times 60 seconds, which makes 1 minute, times 1 hour, times not 24, that's a day. What do we get to? Yeah. 1 hour times 60, and from that times 24, and 24 hours. And 24 hours times 365. That's 1 year. Can you imagine? Now let's start with the zeros. They would cover this table. 186,000 miles per second times 60 to make 1 minute. You can't even, you lose the human brain. It just loses consciousness of what that means. 1 light year would be all of those numbers. One light year. So me and you are not going. Wherever it is we send something, me and you ain't going there. So if in space exploration, right, you want to have research and development to develop